Hey guys. So basically, from now until the end of the semester, so 6 weeks from now, you will be expected to submit two of these stories each week. They're really quick and simple. They're a lot like our Humans of Ladue stories. And if you've done one of those before, it's basically like a photo of somebody, and then you ask them a question, and then you just keep asking follow up questions until their response builds kind of like their own little story that we'll use to represent them. So, what we're doing for this is we're doing it all about people stuck at home and like how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's been affecting them. So, you can do teachers or students or anybody really in the Ladue community who's been affected. You'll have to ask them to submit a selfie, and then you are going to ask them some questions, some pre-made questions that are on here, just kind of to get the ball rolling. Basically, what I need you to do is kind of read through this, what's expected of you. And then here's a little video on this sheet that kind of explains how to actually post your story. It's not like a normal story that you would post on Ladue Publications. And then I've got some questions listed here that can kind of get the ball rolling. I would prefer that you do your interviews over Zoom. You can do email if you want. It's just a little more complicated to ask follow-up questions on an email. So Zoom would be preferable, especially since you can like record that and get their quotes like verbatim. You don't want to be kind of making it up as you go or trying to piece together what they said. You want this to be as close to like a perfect quote as possible. And then if you scroll down, kind of got like a little example interview and how that would go. So we've got like this overall question that Piano asks. Tell us about a time when you were afraid during the pandemic. What thoughts ran through your mind? What did you do to calm yourself? And then we've got this response. And so these questions kind of go back and forth. I want you to read through all of these so you kind of understand how this should go. And then once you have your interview, what you'll do with that is you'll clean it up a bit. So you need to take Panorama completely out of it. And we're just going to be left with the quotes. So when I realized my parents were in Florida when the lockdown occurred here in Missouri is not a sentence. So we're going to get rid of that when. And then we have, I realized my parents were in Florida when the lockdown occurred here in Missouri. They're older, so I was pretty worried about their health. So that makes sense. We're going to cut out this next question. We're going to cut out the word yeah, because that's an answer. So then we just carry on. I was worried about their health. I called them and they decided to drive home instead of fly. I think I got a hold of my mom when they were driving in Georgia. They were coming from the Keys. They had been driving for a good 8 hours by then. They seemed to be enjoying it though. We have our next question. Were they able to make it back? Yeah. So we're going to cut that out. And then they seem to be enjoying it though. It took them 3 days. That's a little vague. So I'm going to change it to the drive because that's what it was replacing. So the drive took them 3 days. A lot of time to be in a car for my dad because he has back problems, but I was happy they made it home safe. So then we have our next question. Did you get to see them when they got back? And then, yeah, my husband and I, blah, blah, blah. So again, we're going to cut the question and cut that answer. So this all flows together. My husband and I went over to their house that evening, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so then we have this coherent, like perfect quote that works together. You didn't do a lot of editing to this quote. It's still very true to the person's words. Again, like that would be really hard to do over email to ask all these follow-up questions. So I would like ask somebody if you can interview them first and then see if they can meet with you over Zoom. You can do it over texting. It's just very, very informal. I would prefer it be over Zoom or over the phone or something like that would be better. But I understand we're in super weird times right now. So if you need to text, if you need to Snapchat, if you need to email, like that's fine. But you need 2 of these posted each week, preferably by Friday of each week, so I can go through and make sure they all get up. Let me know if you have any issues or questions. And then again, make sure you ask them for a selfie of them at home. And then this little tutorial will show you how to actually put it onto the website. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will talk to you later. Let me know if you need anything.